Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so I got another Memory of Chaos video for you guys today. This time around, I brought my Imbibitor Lunane team and my Acheron team. I decided to not use Firefly for this particular season of Memory of Chaos, mainly because I'm just kind of bored of her playstyle. She uses the same characters, same team, same playstyle, it's just repetitive, all the super break damage and all that. And I figured Lunane, I haven't used him in a while, he's pretty good on this particular first half, since the majority of the mobs are weak to imaginary, so... And he did fairly well. I mean, for a character that's come out for basically almost a year at this point, he's doing pretty solid damage. So for my Imbibitor Lunane team, we have Imbibitor Lunane himself, Ting Young, Sparkle, and Gallagher as the sustain. I was actually pleasantly surprised how well Gallagher was able to keep my team alive while generating enough skill points to feed into my Imbibitor Lunane team. Usually, sometimes I have skill point issues if I run someone like Fushen, who is like slightly skill point positive, but Gallagher, he just generates so many skill points to a point where it doesn't matter. I even have spare skill points sometimes to spam on my other characters. For the second team, we have Acheron herself, Pela, who is actually amazing on this half. Literally all the mobs are weak to ice, so Pela is an excellent debuffer and Nihility character to bring on the second half. Bronya, usually I would bring Sparkle instead of Bronya, but Lunane needs the extra skill points, so Sparkle is taken in that team slot. Instead, we'll be running Bronya, who is actually pretty solid, a close second. Not bad, I'll definitely use her in place of Sparkle occasionally. And then we have Fushen as the sustainer. Usually when I fight this Aventurine fight, I usually bring Gepard. The issue with Gepard is sometimes he's a bit inconsistent when it comes to sustaining. Fushen is much more consistent in that front. Although there is one issue with Fushen is she doesn't really generate as many Crimson Knot stacks as consistently as Gepard. Because Gepard can use his freeze to get extra Crimson Knot stacks for Acheron, whereas Fushen can't, and she has to rely solely on RNG from the enemy mobs to hit her. And there's actually a particular mob, this one right here, who is actually immune to burn, so yeah, definitely not the best time to be relying on, I forgot the name of that Lycone that burns the opponent when you get hit for Crimson Knot stacks. I may or may not actually would have done better if I brought Gepard, but either way, I wanted to try out Fushen on this particular team, just for the comfy sustain in general. Alright, not much to say other than that. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay as usual. Alright, so we start off with Sparkle's technique, followed by two Ting Young techniques, and then we initiate the fight with Imbibitor Lunane's technique. And we're going to immediately spam the 2 key as usual. It's been a while since I used Ting Young, so we use it on Lunane. Buff him up immediately. For Gallagher, we just hit the Centaur mob, I believe. Yep. Buff Lunane and push him up. And then now we go into the wombo combo of triple enhanced basic attack into ultimate. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this. Honestly, it feels pretty fun or nice to play Lunane again. Into another triple enhanced basic attack. Now we're going to pop Gallagher's ultimate. This will advance him forward. And also proc the Turbulence. I'm going to use his enhanced basic attack. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that much, because none of them are weak to fire, so he's not going to be able to break them. Here's Sparkle's ultimate. Since we're capped on skill points, I decided to just use Ting Young's skill here, so I don't have to use it again on the next turn. Lunane's going to do his thing. 200k damage, not too shabby. Now we can basic again. Ting Young, pop the ultimate here on Lunane. Unfortunately, this isn't quite enough, even with Lunane's ultimate and enhanced basic attack. 80k, yeah, that's pretty low. Not a lot of damage. And this isn't quite enough to finish off both of them, so we end up using one cycle up. Just gonna basic here. Ting Young's also gonna basic. And we're only going to use a enhanced level 1 basic attack here. We don't want to overkill the mob and waste our skill points. So far, we're not having any issues with skill points. In fact, you saw earlier that we were capped on skill points, and Ting Young even was able to scale up even before she ran out of, I forgot what it's called, those little, her like attack buff basically. Those little dots next to Ting Young. Here, obviously, we're gonna be focusing down Kafka first. She is the main threat, although that wolf to the edge there is a bit annoying once he gets into his moon rage state. So you want to make sure you attack him to dispel that. That's how you dispel the moon rage debuff that he puts on you. I don't know if you can cleanse it because I didn't get to the point where I actually had to cleanse the debuff, but let me know in the comments below if you can actually cleanse that debuff, or you have, or if you're forced to actually hit the wolf mob. Here we're gonna pop Ting Young's ultimate onto Lunane. Sparkle's gonna push him up. Triple enhance basic into ultimate. Here I'm deciding which one to hit. Since we're gonna break Kafka anyways, I'm gonna go for the wolf as the main target, and for the enhanced basic, we'll go back on the Kafka. Here we're gonna buff Lunane again. Sparkle ultimate. Oh, there's the moon rage state, as you can see. It seems like effect resist does, what do you call it, matter here, because he didn't apply the debuff onto my Gallagher, who has fairly high effect resist. So in this case, when your characters are moon rage, you want to hit the wolf or kill it. At this point, it's almost dead, so it doesn't really matter. I hit it with Ting Young just because, well, I want to dispel the moon rage, and he's weak to lightning. Lunane's gonna get off his enhanced basic, or not his enhanced basic, his ultimate here. Dispel Terror Grip, that's what it's called, and I think with this enhanced basic, the wolf is dead anyways. Or the turbulence killed it. And Kafka's all but dead here. Once Lunane takes his turn, he should be good to go. I pop Sparkle's ult here. Doesn't really matter that much, honestly. Our team survives. Ting Young smacks, and then Lunane, honestly, a basic would have done it here, but... And that is the first half. On to the second half. Bronya's technique, Fu Xuan's technique, and we initiate the fight with Acheron's technique. There was a little bit of RNG on the second half. I did a few attempts because for the first wave, if the general or the silver main guard does not hit my Fu Xuan, I actually cannot clear it within one cycle, or with 0 cycles on the first wave. It will actually take me 1 cycle to clear it. So I had to do a few runs, and it doesn't matter if the magma golem or the fire golem hits Fu Xuan, because like I said before, he is immune to burn. So the light cone, I forgot the name already, won't proc the burn, and I won't get the crimson knot stack. So it was a little bit annoying. This is why I said if I brought Gepard, who can just use his E to freeze and guarantee a crimson knot stack, it would have been a little bit more consistent in that front. The only issue with Gepard is his sustain is less consistent to Fu Xuan's, and he doesn't have a cleanse for the Aventurine phase when he CCs some of your team for not attacking his little dice things. There's Fu Xuan's ultimate. It's gonna give the last stack that I need for Acheron, and she's gonna use her ultimate, allowing us to clear the first wave without using up any cycles. Alright, on to Aventurine himself. I did a few misplays here. They weren't major, and I don't think they made much of a difference, but I'll mention them once we get to it. Here I'm deciding, should I skill or basic with Bronya? I think I ultimately decide to skill here, since I have the spare skill points anyways. And Bronya will be able to take another turn regardless in this cycle. I think we just basic with Fu Xuan here. And then here I'm deciding, should I skill or basic with Pela? It took a while, but I noticed that he didn't even have the defense debuff from the light cone, the sweaty light cone. So I was like, okay, I can just basic here. And I'll get enough energy regardless for the ultimate on Pela. Here we push up Acheron again. We're going to use the skill into Pela's ultimate and then Acheron's ultimate for the most amount of damage. There's the turbulence as well. That hits for almost 400k. Not terrible. Not that great either. I was hoping for around 500k. Probably would have done it if I had Bronya's ultimate on. Fu Xuan unfortunately loses the gamble. And then here I have to use a skill because it already has the defense break. So if I want to get a Crimson Knot stack, here I have to use a skill. And it also weakness breaks him as well. Here I actually believe I basic because I'm able to take another turn and Acheron's gonna take her turn right after here. So yeah, we just basic with Bronya because she's gonna be able to take another turn anyways in this particular cycle, and Acheron's acting right after her, so it doesn't really matter. Here I should have saved Fu Xuan's ultimate because I know in the next phase that he's going to have that phase where he summons all the dice and you have to basically roll a number that's high enough to beat him, higher than 9. And usually, if you have an AoE attack, you're almost guaranteed to roll higher than 9. But I did not save Fu Xuan's ultimate there, and we ended up using it. It doesn't end up not really mattering because Fu Xuan's Matrix has one instance of crowd control immunity, so it just ended up not doing anything regardless. But I think I still should have saved the Fu Xuan ultimate because I wasn't in really any urgent need of healing my team or keeping Fu Xuan alive. As you can see, she still has 2 stacks of her self-heal, so I definitely should have saved Fu Xuan's ultimate. I made sure to save Pela's ultimate, that's for sure, in this phase. Here's the phase with the dice. You have to roll higher than a 9. If you're a single attacker, it's never going to happen. It's impossible. You can only roll the maximum of a 6. But with an AoE like this, as you can see, unless you roll like absolutely horribly, like all 1s and 2s or something, then maybe you won't be able to roll a 9. So Bronya's kind of screwed here. She's not going to be able to do it. And this phase, don't hesitate to use your AoE ultimates like Acheron's because you will get the ultimate after the phase is over if you have beat Aventurine. Here I pop Bronya's ultimate because I know Aventurine's about to use his thing and try to stun Bronya. Maybe a little bit too early. I probably should have waited after Acheron made her move. So 1 turn too early, but that's fine here. They get attacked, but we're immune to CC, so effect resist, as you can see. And then Pela and Acheron immediately activate their ultimate after this phase. And then Acheron's ultimate here actually does 500k, which is pretty good. Not too shabby. Here we're gonna push Acheron up. Then Pela's going to just basic here. Here we need to reactivate the Matrix. I should have saved it again here. Like I said, I don't know why I didn't, because he's taking his turn immediately after this, and he's going to go into that phase once again. So yeah, if I had Fu Xuan's ultimate here, we wouldn't be running into issues. But the Matrix just got refreshed, so we have that one instance of crowd control immunity. Like I said, Fu Xuan's very comfy. She's very consistent when it comes to sustaining and keeping your team from getting CC'd in this particular fight. It's just that Gepard, unfortunately, won't be able to win the dice roll, and he will not be able to keep your team from getting hard crowd controlled. So that is one downside of Gepard. The only upside to Gepard is he has more consistent Crimson Knot stacks on his E. And he also has slightly higher aggro, so he's more likely to get hit for that extra burn debuff. Here, everyone gets targeted except for Acheron, but we have the one instance of crowd control. I popped the ultimates in the wrong order for sure here, but it didn't really matter because Acheron's going to kill off Aventurine here. And there you go. We finished MOC within 5 cycles, 25 cycles remaining. Alrighty, now let me go over my characters real quick. This is my Imbibitor Lunane. These are his stats. Exactly 70% crit rate for that Rutilant set. Would have liked a little bit more crit damage though. Lycon is on the fall of an Eon at S5. He usually has to share this with Firefly, but this time I gave him back his Lycon. These are his traces, completely maxed out. Relics. I actually, not this one, but I have a new pair of boots for my Lunane, and it is absolutely cracked. Look at this monster right here. I might put this on Fei Xiao once I build her up. If I decide to run like a slower Fei Xiao, like a base speed Fei Xiao, this pair of boots right here is... I think this is the best relic, actually, in general that I've ever rolled. 4 times in a crit damage. That's unheard of, actually. Jesus Christ. And it's one of those like relics that came with 4 substats, so I didn't even have to roll the 4th substat. So we got the full value out of all 5 rolls. Yeah, these boots are absolutely insane. Unfortunately, his planar sphere and link rope are pretty bad, but I don't really feel like farming his relics anymore since I don't really use them as often as my other characters. As for Eidolons, he's at E2. Alright, next is my Ting Young. These are his stats. Lycone is Dance 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 at S4. These are her traces. I was going to put a little bit more investment in her traces, but I found myself not using her as often anymore. She's usually just paired with Imbibe or Lunane, and since Lunane isn't appearing that much in a lot of my gameplay videos, I don't see myself using Ting Young on many of the other teams, especially with characters like Acheron and Fei Xiao coming out that don't even use energy for their ultimate. She's kind of become a little bit less relevant, but she's still good support. And I still love using her whenever I get the chance to. These are her relics, 4-piece Musketeer and a 2-piece Broken Keel. As for Eidolon, she's still at only Eidolon 4. I still need 2 more copies of her, unfortunately. Alright, next is Sparkle. These are her stats. Not enough effect resist, unfortunately. We need to get better relics for that. Lycone is But the Battle Isn't Over at S1. Traces, I did max out her skill finally, but I feel like she's one of those characters where it might even be worth maxing out her ultimate and talent just for the little itty bitty extra damage. It could make a bit of a difference in endgame content like Memory of Chaos and Apocalyptic Shadow. These are her relics, 4-piece speed set and 2-piece Broken Keel set. Yeah, a lot of the issues with some of her gear is they're good. They got a lot of speed and crit damage. They're just missing effect resist. It doesn't even need to roll into effect resist. It just needs effect resist as one of the substats, and then she'll be good to go for the Broken Keel set. But unfortunately, it's not enough. So the Broken Keel set might as well be a no-piece set. Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. And finally, for the sustain on the first half, we have Gallagher the GOAT. These are his stats. Honestly, this dude is absolutely crazy bonkers for a 4-star. It like actually surprises me so much how he's able to sustain my whole team consistently while doing a fair amount of damage himself. For his Lycone, I decided to actually finally build up my Quick Pro Quo all the way to S5. Usually I run him on Natasha's Lycone here for the extra energy regen and the healing on his or just increased outgoing healing whenever he uses ultimate. I feel like this Lycone's pretty solid on him. But for this particular team, Lunane and Ting Young and even Sparkle heavily rely on their ultimates to either do damage or support the team. So this random RNG of energy provided by Gallagher actually may or may not have made my run more smooth. I didn't really notice a difference. You guys let me know in the comments if you noticed that whether or not this actually procced in the middle of the battle. But if it did, any of these 3 characters would have benefited from the extra energy. And he can actually proc this quite often because of his high speed and his ability to advance forward whenever he casts his ultimate. So I feel like this is just a very good Lycone for this specific team. If I were to use him on a team like Acheron's team, I probably would not use this Lycone, obviously, because Acheron doesn't use the energy. So there's a chance that this could be put or just be completely wasted. These are his traces. I probably will put a little bit more investment. Max out the talent. Most likely this is his strongest trace. And the effect resist and HP are added bonuses, especially the effect resist. He actually really needs this sub. As you saw earlier, he got CC'd by Kafka, but he was completely immune to it. Thanks to a high amount of effect resist I have on him. As for his relics, I have him on a two-piece speed set. I don't want to attempt to pronounce that. I would just call it a 2-piece forge set. The 2-piece break effect watchmaker set, and then, like I said, the 2-piece speed set. These are his subs, or relics for the subs. He needs a better link rope. As for Eidolons, he's at Eidolon 6. Alright, on to the Queen, Acheron. These are her stats. If you guys might have noticed, her crit damage is insanely high. That's because I got a pair of new boots for her. And it's funny because those boots, they're okay. They're not even that great. They rolled alright, at least for my standards. I still want better boots for her, but they're better than the ones I had before. This is her Lycone S1, signature Lycone. Traces almost maxed out other than the basic attack. Alright, on to her relics. These are all the same, along with the headpiece. These are her boots right here. Like I said, it rolled alright, but the fact that it has crit rate and crit damage is already a huge upgrade to the previous pair, which is this that I had before. It just only had crit rate. I don't care about the speed. So that's where the boost of crit damage came from. Her planar sphere is still kind of dog poop, and then her link rope is good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a better link rope, or I will settle for this link rope. It's already good enough in my opinion. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 2. Alrighty, next is Pela. These are her stats. I somehow managed to get her to 160 speed, but at the cost of a little bit of effect hit rate. As you can see, she's not at the optimal effect hit rate. You want her to be at least at 57 or 58. And then along with one of her traces, she'll go up to 68 or 67, which is the amount of effect hit rate you need to guaranteed on the defense break on her ultimate. The Lycone is the Sweaty Lycone at S3. These are her traces. It's funny because I say she doesn't have enough effect hit rate, but if I have this node unlocked, she would actually be at the amount of effect hit rate I need. It's just that I'm not willing to put in the investment for this particular node because it's just extra damage. I might invest a little bit more in her traces in the future because I use Pela so often. She's probably my most used Nihility character paired with Acheron, even more than Silverwolf, because Silverwolf, there's just a lot of situations where only single target's not enough. There's going to be at least like 3 mobs usually in Memory of Chaos, even sometimes in Apocalyptic Shadow. So like, I just see Pela being used more often than Silverwolf, but I don't know. Yeah, I may or may not put more investment in her in the future. These are relics, 2-piece speed set and a 2-piece Wanrak set. Is that how you pronounce it? Wanrak? Vonwhack? Anyways, it's that set, and then broken set, because I didn't feel like doing the HP set. If I did the HP set, she wouldn't be fast enough, so I just had to take my fastest speed pieces available for her. As for Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 6. Alright, next is Bronya. These are her stats. Pretty garbage, in my opinion, especially the crit damage. I just don't have really good crit damage relics for her, other than, they're all being used on Sparkle. That's the issue here. Her Lycone is her signature Lycone at S1. These are her traces, definitely needs more investment. I gotta wait for the double drop event. Last double drop event, I focused on other characters, so I didn't really get to Bronya, unfortunately. These are her relics, 4-piece speed set, 4-piece broken keel. Some of these pieces don't even have crit damage in them, so well, that's the main stat, but like this one, no crit damage. This one has a little bit, and this one has a little bit as well. This mostly rolled into effect hit rate. I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece, honestly. As for Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 2. I recently pulled a copy of her, but it was on a limited banner, so rip that. Alright, and finally we are at Fu Xuan. These are her stats. Lycone is Trend of the Universal Market. I completely forgot the name of this Lycone when I was going through the gameplay, but this is her Lycone at S4. These are her traces. Probably needs more investment, especially in the skill. I've just been neglecting my Fu Xuan. I don't know why. These are her relics, 2-piece HP set, or 2-piece HP sets, the Fleet of Ageless and the Disciple set, and then a 2-piece speed set. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alrighty guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next Honkai Star Rail video. Take care, and peace.